From Washington to Hollywood and right back to Wisconsin. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. Connecting the dots on the stories shaping our world with smart takes, sharp humor, and plenty of personality.
You know, I really expected more professional behavior from you.
It's news and culture without the noise.
Yeah, I'm on.
Here's Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Dude.
Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. Happy post-long weekend. We are starting our Monday as a Tuesday, and it is great. As much fun as the long weekend was, this is pretty cool, too, because it's a short week. So happy Tuesday, everybody, wherever you're joining us from, around the state of Wisconsin or parts beyond. It is great to have you here at Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. We are coming to you live on the Civic Media Network on this Tuesday, where we have so much to talk about, Greg. I can't even believe it. Greg Bach, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Greg Bach, coming to you from Radio Park in Racine.
I was half expecting you not to be here tonight, Greg, because your stand-up gig
How do you
went
half expect something?
so well on Friday. You said, "So long, suckers. I'm off to the big time." But apparently that didn't happen. That rarely happens. That never happens, actually.
Well,
how did the gig go?
It only happens when you have 3 million followers on social media, put out videos all the time, go do shows all the time, and I don't do any of those things. So yeah, no, I'm here. Hello. It was a good show. It was a good weekend. It was fun. It was, Chastity Washington is the absolute best. She's one of the funniest comedians. She's the funniest comedian in Milwaukee. She's one of the funniest in the Midwest. And this is just a note for Chicago. She doesn't belong to you. You guys always claim her like Chicago's own. No, she's from Milwaukee. She's from Wisconsin. She's ours. Just knock it off. But it was a really fun time. It was my first time actually being at the Tap, the Laughing Tap, since they reopened the doors. Yeah. And so that was very interesting. But on Friday, we got done with the show, and before everything was shut down, I was out the door in my car driving up to Milwaukee, and I got there at 7:34, and I walked in, and everyone was like, "Hello," I told them I was going to be there very much at showtime, and it was just. I don't know if you've ever done this, Pete, where you get to a show and you're out of sorts and you're like, I got to do jokes now. And you realize that, I got to remember my jokes. And then there's a couple that I kind of slipped up on, but it was fun. We had a good time. And it was great seeing a bunch of wonderful comedians and just great to do a show. I mean, it was really good time. I enjoyed it a lot.
It seems like you're kind of a radio big shot. You could walk in and go, I'm a few minutes late, but I've got another gig.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? I don't know who's anybody nowadays. We don't know.
And you used to be a big shot with that particular club. So I would think they would, I'm sure they were cool about it though.
Oh yeah. I mean, they were a little surprised that I think they were expecting me to get there between 7:20 and 7:30. But when I showed up at 7:34, they were like, okay, you're here. Let's go. And then we want to start in 2 minutes. I'm like, perfect. Let's do it. Let's just do this right now. So, awesome. It was a fun time, and I suggest people go out and check out shows there. LaughingTap.com for more information. And when there are more comedy shows, I know I'm doing a couple of shows next month, which is interesting. It's like I'm doing stand-up. It's like I'm doing stand-up again, Pete.
Dude, I went through a phase where I kind of, I did it so long ago and for a living. It was fun. I toured all over, and it was great. But then I didn't want to watch it for a long time. I've kind of gotten a rebirth. Like some of the comedians that pop up on Reels, like on Instagram, are really funny. And I really like watching stand-up comedy again. So I might just surprise you and be in the audience one night. So glad it went well.
Baby. How was your weekend?
It was nice. I had, we just kind of hung around. It was really fun. We watched a movie called Jack Ryan Ghost Wars with John Krasinski from The Office. Got my Krasinski's mixed up. And then
Jim Caviezel, the guy who played Jim.
It's not the guy from Red Moon or whatever that was. Thin Red Line. No, but it was fun. I mean, the movie was not great. These movies are kind of going downhill. And it was one of those movies that was like wall-to-wall music. It's like, please stop. No. Let this thing breathe. I know you're trying to make it more exciting, but if it's not there, it's not there. Just take a break.
Plus, when you're dealing with stories that have to do with spies and espionage, there are moments when silence is important.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very interesting to me. Okay,
yeah, but we did the usual cookout. We launched our summer barbecue. We did the brats and the burgers. I had like 3 brats. Now I don't need to see a brat again for another year. But it was fun, and we played this neighborhood golf game we play called soccer golf with soccer balls. We had a couple tournaments. And here's what I've learned about where I live. I live in a small old Chautauqua community. It's like 50 houses on the outskirts of Christmas City, if you will.
Ooh.
And when you walk, there's a fair share of old people, but we walk laps very leisurely around this thing in our neighborhood. And people go, whoa, you are really going to town. Like I'm an athlete or something. Like, this is a leisurely stroll.
Yeah, but Pete, you're a youngin' there. I mean, you are a guy who like, oh my gosh, you got your original knees? My goodness, what a brag. What a brag.
What's that whippersnapper think he's doing? What's he trying to prove?
Slow down, you're going 4 miles an hour, boy. Come on
I
now.
know. And it's hard to get exercise anyway, because you see people, especially when the weather gets nice, you stop at every other house and it's like a 5-10 minute conversation. But it was really nice weekend, but also good to be back in the air. Dom, what are you looking at? How was your weekend, buddy?
It was really good. And the reason why it was so good was I also watched a movie in theaters, The Obsession. The Obsession was such a good movie. It was great.
I'm envious. That is supposed to be outstanding. I cannot wait to see that movie.
One of my it was the best horror movie I've ever watched in theaters, ever, to date.
Wow.
So good. So good.
Cool.
That is a serious endorsement. Greg doesn't like to hear that.
Greg says the same.
I mean, I'm not going to say it. Like, I'm a scaredy cat.
He's already
The
scared.
old scaredy. I'm a scaredy cat. It's like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you go down to Chicago for your long weekend, where Chastity Washington is not a resident, by the way? Just to reiterate what Greg said.
Exactly.
I did. Yes, I did. Just saw the family for a couple days, but then I had to go back like the morning of Sunday, so I didn't even really go on Memorial Day. But yeah, it was a nice chill weekend, and saw some family. It was really nice weekend.
Well,
Excellent.
That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, we have a great show tonight, guys. Our pal Jim Santel will be here. He is a former prosecutor. He was a former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Wisconsin, and he hosts Amicus Law Review. Am I getting that right, Greg? I'm going.
Amicus Law Review every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Civic Media.
Civic Media. And Jim is knowledgeable, and he is a good guy, and I cannot wait to talk to him at 5:35. We've got a few questions for Jim as we do, and you've known Jim longer than I have, Greg. I would say you guys are pals even.
We're pals. We're buddies. We've hung out. We've hung out socially, which is very fun because someday I'll tell you the story of Jim Santel and pretzel bites. It is one of the most heartwarming, beautiful stories of a man who is so accomplished discovering a snack for the first time. And so no, it's great. Jim is great because he can talk about the law, he can talk about art, he can talk about drama. He just is just a good human being, and I'm always very happy to have him around to break down these huge stories coming out of the world of law. And there's always stories coming out of the world of law, whether we're talking about just basic decisions from judges to all the way to the Supreme Court. He's here for us, and we appreciate it.
And don't you love, like what you told me before the show, Jim does a lot of pro bono work, mostly pro bono work. That says a lot about someone's character, I think, because he could still be cashing in and charging people, whatever. But I think that's amazing. I've got a lot of lawyers in my family that have done that kind of thing, and I'm in awe of people like that. It's a great trait, and Jim has it. Yeah,
absolutely. He's just a good human being, period. That's all there is to it. No getting around that point.
Yeah, I don't like him personally, but I do agree with you. He's a good person. We also have, ladies and gentlemen, coming up in hour number 2, actor based in Door County. You don't hear that a lot. Door County-based actor Kurt Krause will be here. He is working on a movie, getting a movie going. He's in a play coming up. It sounds like a hilarious play. So we'll talk to Kurt about all things that he's got going on. He's been on the show several times before. And gentlemen, I am very excited to announce it's my choice this week for the Nite Lite Movie Club, which takes place every Thursday night here at Nite Lite in the second hour at 6:20. We break a movie down. We talk about it. We celebrate it. This week's movie, Compliments of Pete Schwaba. Well done.
God, we got a timpani. God,
The Outsiders.
Boom.
How is that?
Wow. Boom.
Matt Damon, C. Thomas Howell.
Not Matt Damon.
I'm sorry, Matt Dillon. Matt Damon would have to be like in utero. You're correct. Matt Dillon. Rob Thomas. No. Rob Lowe. Pat Swayze is in this movie. Great actor.
Old Patty Swayze.
Patty Swayze. We've got Tom Cruise in a lesser role, but great. Emilio Estevez, Ralph Macchio, Diane Lane, who steals the scenes she's in, is great too.
Yeah.
This week's movie of our Nite Lite Movie Club is The Outsiders, that classic. Everybody, we were talking about this before the show, had to read it in 8th grade, and then the teacher would oftentimes show the movie. So you've probably already seen it, folks. And if you haven't, check it out or give it a rewatch, which is what I'll be doing before Thursday night. And join us in hour number 2, where we break down The Outsiders and discuss it at Nite Lite Movie Club. That'll be fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be a really, really good time.
Yeah. All right. I think without further ado, on this Tuesday evening, we should get to the question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
All right. Memorial Day weekend is in the rear view, folks. Summer is here. And our question of the night is, what is the best vacation spot in Wisconsin? We are vacation central here in America, or at least in the Midwest. Everybody comes to Wisconsin with good reason.
Yep.
We have a beautiful state. It's amazing in the summer. What is your best vacation spot in Wisconsin? If it's winter, if it's your favorite winter spot, that's okay too, but let us know. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You could also text us on the Civic Media app. Very easy to use. You probably already have it. If not, download it because you're going to need it, because we have a great contest coming up again. One of our text to win contests is right around the corner. So get the Civic Media app, or you can send us a message over the stream if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and or Twitter, X, whatever the heck it's called. What do they call it? It's called X. Send me an X, will you? X me, Greg.
No, I will not do any of those things.
Tweeting worked. Send me a tweet.
Tweeting was great. Tweet. Now they're like, oh, it's a post. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun anymore. Tweet's better. And it's still Twitter to me.
Me too. And tweeting, apparently, it's just not manly enough. So they had X. So stupid.
I'm Xing out. I'm going to just X a lot today.
I'll be Xing most of the day.
Today's legs day and X day. All right.
Be part of the show, folks. Let us know what your favorite or best vacation spot is in Wisconsin. And we will share ours in the second hour as well. As I mentioned, Jim Santel coming up after the news at 5:35. Greg, I'm just going to give you a minute here to go crazy for your Brewers, bud. We had Mike Clemens wanted to come on and talk about this heroic, historic day. What happened out there?
I mean, well, we had a decent showing against the Dodgers. We did one game. We got one game that was good, and then they kicked the stuffing out of us the next game, and then the third game was meh. The Brewers are still sitting right there on top, number 1, 2.5 games ahead of St. Louis, who we're playing right now, or not right now, but this evening. Yeah, but. The Brewers, I mean, they're just setting records and busting down walls and doing it big style. It's also very weird as a Brewers fan. I'm sure you can identify with this as a Cubs fan and Dom as a White Sox fan. When your team is doing really well, you're like, oh man, they're doing great. When does it all fall apart?
Yeah, and it's early, but I mean, if they're capable of doing it now, and what did Mizorowski do? What was his big?
Oh, he said, that's why we need good old fashioned
tons of strikeouts.
Tons of strikeouts. Yeah, he said there we go. Here, sets record for 100 mile per hour plus pitches. There we go. For the most in a single game. 57 pitches of at least 100 miles per hour during the 5-1 victory against the Cardinals last night.
We are coming right back to tell you what's going on in the world, folks. We might even ask you to sign an NDA. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss that. It's Nite Lite with Pete and Greg on the Civic Media Network.
We are in break, guys.
I like the Police.
Yeah, I have a few saved up here, but
I saw them live in 2007 when they did their reunion tour.
Were they back
It was just that one tour. They didn't make any new records. They didn't make any new songs. There was like, hey, we made a new song for this. No, it was just, we're playing the greatest hits. Everyone was fine with that. And at one point, I remember trying to calculate the total age of those three guys. And I think it was about 180 plus years between the three of them. And I'm like, they were rocking harder and more energetically than bands more than half their age with more members. Like Sting was jumping over, the the stairs, and he was running up and down, and Stuart Copeland's going insane as always, and Andy Summers sitting there playing his guitar like he always does.
That's so cool.
But still, it was just an amazing rocking show. Really well done. And I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went to that show because it was
it's more artists that I figured out due to you guys as well, because I had no idea the Police really existed until
Yeah, and they're one of those bands. I don't care if they have new music. I just want to see them go perform all the old ones, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a great go ahead, Greg.
I don't want them to make new music. They're done. They're like they I think
it might disappoint.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, Sting wants to do what he wants to do, and I think I think they're brothers in the truest form, where like they love each other, but they can't stand each other for a while. And to put them in a studio to say, all right, make a record, they'd be like, yeah, we'll just murder each other instead. How about we do that?
Right.
So
he was he went on stage, I think in Barcelona with Springsteen years and years ago. And there's a YouTube video of this and singing Twist and Shout, and Sting is going nuts and he's doing somersaults and they're just having a blast together. Like,
wow.
It was one of the coolest, most infectious videos I've ever seen.
Nice.
15 seconds, guys. 15
All
seconds.
right.
Welcome back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. I am coming to you live from Northeast Wisconsin, where it is about to storm, guys. You might hear some thunder. Coming to you live from Marinette, Wisconsin. Just down the coast, coming to you live, is Greg Bach from Radio Park in Racine. And the kid, Dom Lee, is holding down the fort in Madison at Civic Media headquarters. We are, for those of you listening on the stream, the Yotterhay Triangle, and we are arranged as such on the stream if you're watching the show on YouTube, Facebook, or the app, or Civic Media. We're not on NBC, are we, right now?
On NBC?
NBC?
No, I mean,
Okay.
Unless the contract was very different when I saw it, like, I know we are not on NBC.
We could do like a Colbert public access show. Maybe.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
out of our
only in
basement.
Monroe. That was really cool.
Get
That's
Jack
really
White.
fun.
That would be pretty cool. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite Wisconsin vacation spot, or which spot do you think is the best? We are the state of summer. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to be in Wisconsin in the summer, so let us know what your favorite spot is to vacation in, and be part of the show. We'll read your texts, most likely in hour two. Greg, we've got some things happening in the world, and it seems like every time I turn around, there is a certain president that is insulating himself from prosecution, bad words, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I mean whether or not, like, you know, he going to walk out of the office with a blanket pardon for he and his family and anybody who came into the White House during his time in office, to now what we're seeing here, according to Yahoo News, they're reporting, this is from the Washington Post actually, Trump administration proposed NDA for all federal workers because they believe that there are leaks coming out of the federal government that are leading to stories in the paper. And so they want to, they are entertaining the idea of making all federal employees sign NDAs, which to me just says you're just doing stuff wrong you don't want anyone to talk about. And this story does a really good job of breaking down the fact that these NDAs would really stand in the way of First Amendment rights. They would stand in the way of whistleblowing. They would stand in the way from anybody actually, you know, reporting any wrongdoing, which that's not how it's supposed to work in government. It's supposed to, you know, there's something going on. You should tell people. We should tell people.
It was hard enough signing an NDA to do this show with you guys, but I've honored it so. And I have not ratted. Nobody's, you know, you guys, your secrets are safe with me. But yeah, it's kind of like, don't investigate me. The IRS can't come after me. And now you can't talk. So what is the purpose? So much for open government. And I'm not saying everybody, you know, if there are state secrets or there's an attack, whatever, okay, but we've always figured that out before. Are these really necessary?
Well, no, I mean, I personally believe like if you work for the government in a very sensitive section, whether you're talking about the Pentagon or you're talking about the White House, yes, there are certain things that you cannot talk about for fear of being arrested for treason or for, that's understandable. But like in this article, they use the example of, there were unauthorized disclosures regarding the, what do they use? The kidnapping of former president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and that these stories made their way into the New York Times. But the executive editor himself said, we didn't have that information. We didn't delay the story. We didn't do any. Don't use us as an example to push your NDA narrative, because all you're trying to do is keep people from telling on you because you continue to be the most corrupt presidency in the history of America.
Yeah, they just want to do whatever they want, and they don't want
exactly.
any repercussions. So,
I mean, it's not like they listen to the courts anyways when something happens.
right. That was a weird thing, too. They said agencies can decide whether to adopt the NDA according to the draft. So it's what, optional? I don't, it's like such a mixed message. It's like the Iran war. I can't figure out what's going on from a day-to-day basis,
My goodness gracious. Yeah, exactly.
Here's a story that I love this. And again, it's like Pope Leo kind of being a thorn in the, not the president necessarily, because Trump hasn't come out but in billionaire sides, I'll say, because in Politico, Pope Leo said that artificial intelligence could exacerbate inequality, deepen social fragmentation, and weaken moral responsibility unless it is constrained. He's not alone there. I do like that he's speaking out on this because although, as Trump mentioned, he's weak on crime, whatever that meant a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, totally.
He's being strong on AI. And listen, we were joking around the other day in our house with the kids. My son was asking crazy questions to AI, and this girl's voice in AI was coming. It was really creepy. And he was saying weird things, and she was going, okay, yeah, see, here's what I think you should. It is so creepy. And I thought AI was going to kill us all that night. Like, that's how creepy it already is. So there have to be regulations, not just because I'm freaked out, but in general. I mean, we don't want a Terminator situation here. I bring everything back to movies. But I know former President Barack Obama is working on figuring out regulations for AI too, because he sees the importance in it. I don't feel like billionaires should have free reign with this and do whatever they want, because frankly, we're in a lot of trouble, I think, if that's the case.
I just think it makes sense that in the day and age of this kind of technological advances, and I'm not against AI, I'm not like saying AI is the worst. I'm just saying that it just makes sense that something that's very powerful that's being used, and this story makes very clear, it's being used in all facets of life, whether we're talking about entertainment, we're talking about government or military. There need to be some safeguards. There need to be some guardrails. But this administration and this current version of America, not a really big fan of guardrails. At least the people in power, they think guardrails are, like anti-America and freedom and makes us weaker and less men. But whatever. But yeah, I mean, again, for me, it's a weird situation because there's a lot of conversations we could have about the Catholic Church, and I know that they're worth having. Not at this moment because we have a show to do, but I do like to see this Pope and the Pope and his predecessor, Pope Francis, really taking up these topics and really speaking out, even though, Pope Leo is soft on crime. So soft on crime.
I don't know what he hasn't done one thing about gang violence. It's interesting, but he sent out a letter. He's a voice and he's an influence. So I say, go for it. We do need this. We need some regulations before it's too late. Cause frankly, politicians, if things go too far, you can't reel it back. And that's what I think Pope Leo is saying. So, all right. We are going to break for the news, ladies and gentlemen. Our question of the night: what is the best vacation spot in Wisconsin? Summer is here. Let's celebrate it, and let's celebrate our state with this fun question. Be part of the show. When we come back, Jim Santel is here, folks. You've heard him here on Civic Media. Amicus, a law review. That's Jim, and he's here next. It's Pete and Greg and Nite Lite.
All right, we are ready.
Okay. It's Jim Santel.
Hey, Jim.
Gentlemen, how are you today? I'm appearing through my phone because, of course, my laptop here is full of gremlins, apparently. So I hope this...
Oh, you just went mute.
Uh-oh.
Just went quiet. Can't hear you.
Let me check.
No.
I'll wing it as Jim for the whole interview, Greg. Just ask me questions.
Oh, sure. Of course. Oh, there you are.
Go.
Oh, now you made it. How about now? No,
I could have sworn that was Jim's lament just a moment ago.
Yeah, me too. Jim, why don't you sign out and come back in, see if that works?
Yep. Try that.
Technology.
Different.
Did he send me a text message? Oh, no. Yeah. He did not. Let me just... Oh, let's see. Let's try that again.
All right. How about that? Is that working?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It is.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. Who knows? Got lots of tech gremlins on this end, apparently. But good to be with you.
Can you do me one favor and try something?
Yes.
And put your phone on the long side?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
How about that? Boy,
Perfect.
Are we good or what? Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Excellent. It's all excellent, right? Good.
Excellent party time. I figure we could kick it off with the decision from the Supreme Court regarding the death penalty, and we can go from there.
Sure.
And then...
Oh, I didn't see that. That's right. That must...
I figure what we could do is we could start there, and then you have the second point, but like we could also let's go to that third point, the big victories for Democrats.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll start with the Supreme Court, and then we'll go with the big victories after that.
Wonderful. Good.
Sweet. All right, guys. Then
Cool.
Positive things here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we can get them.
All right, guys. We have about 2 minutes till we go live. All right.
Sounds
Terrific.
good. Thank you, sir.
Terrific.
Yep.
And Pete, I'll introduce him.
Yep.
Cool.
And by the way, you also know that the criminal judge in Tennessee dismissed the case against Abrego Garcia. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that as well.
Yeah.
If you want to
so
bring that
much
up too,
going on
please.
here, right?
Yeah.
But wow,
always something happening.
kind of the story. You predict and you anticipate, but you never know the way the world spins, right?
No. And if I knew, I would make money off of it. Just
exactly.
kidding. I would never
Wait,
do
some
that.
people do, don't they?
That's
right?
true. All right, cool. Talk to you guys in a moment.
Very good. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. Always love some wings bringing us on in. If you want to be part of the conversation, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on that live stream. We're currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. The question of the night is, summer is here, so what is the best vacation spot in Wisconsin? Let us know here on the text line. Give us a call. the live stream, or via the Civic Media app. It's very easy to download. You can call, you can text, you can listen live. It's a great way to stay in touch at all points. Do not forget, in the second hour, we'll be talking to Kurt Krause, who is a Door County native, film producer, actor, talking about all the things he's into right now, including a movie he's making as well as a play, but that's coming up in the second hour. But right now, let us welcome to the stage our first guest of the evening. He is the host of Amicus Law Review, which is on every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Civic Media Network. He's also a former U.S. attorney. He is Jim Santel, and we are so excited to have him on the show this evening. Good afternoon/evening, Jim. How are you today?
Equally excited to be with you, gentlemen. Once again, lots and lots of things to talk about, including some surprises out there, right? Rule of law stuff and legislative action. So delighted to be with you.
Isn't it weird when the rule of law seems to work the way it's supposed to?
Yes.
Let's kick things off, though, with a decision coming from the Supreme Court regarding the death penalty.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this is a fellow named Joseph Clifton Smith. He's an Alabama man. He was sentenced to execution, to death by Alabama after murdering a man. Heinous event, horrific event that prompts all this. He is sentenced to the death penalty, and as your listeners certainly know, Supreme Court said a long time ago that under the Eighth Amendment, which prohibits cruel and unusual punishment, it is not necessarily a violation of the Constitution to impose the death penalty. Some states say yes, some states say no. Alabama is one of those that's gone ahead and say, yes, we're going to make that available, if you will, to judges and to juries, but you have to do it according to rules, the Supreme Court said. Another case called Atkins versus Virginia says you can't administer the death penalty if, in fact, the person, the defendant, the convict, does not have the mental capacity, the intellectual ability to appreciate what's going on, to basically understand the events and circumstances surrounding this, probably the nature of his or her conduct, and also the penalty and the nature of that. And so the question's always been, okay, under what circumstances can you execute someone of limited intellectual capabilities? In this particular case, once again, Mr. Smith falls kind of in that category. Alabama says if you've got an IQ of 70 or more, you are intellectually capable of understanding this. If you're somewhere around that or less than that, you are not. Here, Mr. Smith scores 72 to 78 over a period of years. And the question is, with a margin of error, is that in the category where the Supreme Court would say, yes, indeed, he suffers from sufficient intellectual incapacities such that imposing the death penalty on him would be unconstitutional? And lower courts, the Alabama court has said, nope, we're going to go ahead. He's just above our line, which is 70. A lower federal court came in and said, no. Given the lack of clarity on this, that you're in this ballpark once again, and some other testing that also indicated that he does not have the intellectual capacity to appreciate what's going on, lower federal court says, no, we're suspending this. Alabama takes it up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says, we can't decide. And they do something. Here's your Latin. Here's your law stuff for the day. They basically say that the review action was improvidently granted, which means we made a mistake. We looked at the file here and there's not sufficient detail in it. We don't have enough details and facts to render a decision and to give clear direction, not just to Alabama, but to other states on this intellectual capacity issue. And for that reason, we're not deciding. We're dismissing the case here, goes back down to the lower courts, presumably for some resentencing. And in the meantime, there is plainly Mr. Smith gets a reprieve just because, again, the lower federal court said no death penalty imposed here. But again, it underscores not only the process before our Supreme Court, but also that death penalty issues continue to loom large before the highest court, and Eighth Amendment is still an active part of what we think about in America.
Whew. Wow. Well said.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Every time I thought I got to follow up with Jim about this, you answered it. So thank you for that. And very well done. Jim, it just came out today that I'm going to jump out here for a second from the death penalty, and just Trump has proposed NDAs for all federal workers. Is this legal, constitutional, American? It actually seems like it's so controversial. Like Greg and I were talking before, it might actually encourage whistleblowing because you're clamping down so hard. What do you make of this?
Who knows what the unintended consequence may be? Again, I think about two categories. I was in both of them. As a civil servant, again, I do not give up my First Amendment rights to speak out, to whistleblow. And if someone had come to me during the 30 years that I was assistant U.S. attorney, some other spots, and said, here, as a condition of your civil service employment, not connected to politics, not connected to things that you may or may not say, I would refuse to sign that. And I think the courts would support me on that. That's civil servants. Political appointees. I was a U.S. attorney. Marshals are that, plainly many others in the federal government. There, in fact, if the president as a presidential appointee, the president wants to pick up the phone and fire me based upon something that I have said, that is his or one day her prerogative. But we're talking really about all those civil servants out there. And so to answer your question, Pete, I would certainly anticipate that a federal judge looking at this saying, no, that is not a proper condition for a civil servant. They do retain First Amendment rights. They do retain whistleblower rights. There are federal statutes that give them that authority, even that obligation to come forward if, in fact, they see fraud and waste and abuse. It happens all the time. It is not consistent with our understanding of how government works. And again, I would look forward to someone challenging this if he's serious about going ahead with this. If someone doesn't get to him and say, Mr. President, another bad idea. But if he does go ahead with it, anticipate this being in the courts for at least some period of time before a judge says, no, I'm stopping that too.
And I just wanted to make a point really quick too, is I don't know how you would enforce an NDA on 2.7 million federal employees, which is where we're at right now. We probably had more pre-Doge, but I just think it just seems like an absolutely ridiculous thing to say. Well, we'll have them all sign NDAs. Well, okay, we'll see you in court. See you in court.
Exactly. And the point of again, your good observation, Greg, is just this. It's impractical to do that. I think a lot of people would once again resign. You've got supervisors who would not do this. But more than anything else, it's to do what? It's to send the message. This is not a practical thing. It's just to send the message that if you are a federal employee, I'm watching you, I'm looking at you, and I may at some point attempt to go after you for the things you say. It's that deterrence which the presidency should not at all be about. It should be about, again, transparency and telling members of the federal workforce that I expect you to come forward when in fact there are problems in our administration, fraud, waste, abuse, all those kinds of things have got to be a part of the job.
Yeah.
To report on it, that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. If you are just joining us right now, we are talking to former U.S. Attorney and current host of Amicus, a Law Review, Jim Santel. He is our guest this evening. We're talking about all the biggest stories coming out of the world of law. And we have a couple minutes left in this segment, but let's get to what you listed as two big victories coming out of the courts, victories for Democrats, that is. Do you want to talk more about that?
Absolutely. So this is in the wake of that Calais case that sent all of us a flutter around the country, especially a whole swath of states in the South, now redistricting after Sam Alito, and a majority of the Supreme Court said you don't have to be concerned about anything, basically, as long as you do it for political purposes. If you have a consequential impact upon race, we don't care anymore. So it sets off all of these things in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Virginia. Obviously, the Democrats also there. But two big things happened today. One is as Alabama and the governor there, Kay Ivey, begins to put together a plan to get rid of the singular majority Black and majority Democratic district. Lo and behold, federal judges come in, 3 of them, and they rejected this new voting plan. And they say, we cannot see our way clear to requiring Alabamians to cast their votes in the 2026 elections under a districting plan tainted by intentional race-based discrimination. And so, again, certainly it's going to be appealed to the appeals court, but a big news coming out of the federal court in Alabama saying, nope, you can't go ahead with what the legislature, what the governor wanted to do there. That is huge. That is certainly a setback for what everybody thought would be just the natural rolling forward here. And South Carolina, you got a legislative problem there. South Carolina also wants to get rid of the singular majority Black district there. And there you've got the legislature that comes forward and says, we don't have enough time. And failing to pass a motion, here's the nitty gritty of it, to stop debate and signals that the early voting that's already underway there was no longer enough to provide support for the Republicans, and therefore punting votes down the road after the June 9th primary. Once again, there in South Carolina, this plan for a new midterm map, not only suspended for a while, but certainly defying the president in terms of what he wants. So a judicial decision, a legislative decision, two different states. As we were talking just before we began today, we all predict that we're going to be going down this road and having all this wild redistricting. And lo and behold, things happen, right? The world turns on its axis, and what you anticipated here, once again, from some judges and from some legislators, defying the president in South Carolina and saying we can't go ahead. We are simply out of time. And he will not be happy about that, or, of course, about Alabama. We'll see what happens next in other states as well.
Roll Tide. That's what I say. That's impressive. Jim, how many states? There's been pushback in 3 states now so far. How many states do you know, or maybe you don't, would it take to push back where this won't affect midterms, if that makes any sense?
Right. It just, the calculation, I do not keep a running tab on this, although I think people do. You've got to factor in not only what happened in Virginia, which is those 4 Democratic seats were overturned by the Virginia Supreme Court there. So that's in the opposite direction. Then you've got these attempts. Again, Tennessee has already put in place its new map. You've got Texas, you've got Louisiana, these things going on in South Carolina and Alabama today. At the other extreme, there's California, right? This is Governor Newsom creating new districts there. And I think, frankly, to answer your very good question, we'll see what tomorrow brings, because I think the calculus is changing every day. You can't wait until November, but it is 5 months away. You got to do this pretty quickly. And if you haven't done it already, you are pretty much running out of time, as South Carolina did. You can't change the rules. You can't change the lines. Frankly, much beyond maybe the 4th of July, but people have got to know where they're living, where they're going to be running. And if you wait much beyond that, then you get in trouble with what's so-called the Purcell principle that says you can't change the rules of voting so close to an election that people don't know what's going on. And so this is going to change every day, but at some point soon, you got to have it locked in for the legitimacy of the November election, whatever that may be.
All right, we're going to keep the conversation going with Jim Santel. He is the host of Amicus, a law review, which you can catch every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Civic Media. You can also go to civicmedia.us/shows and download past episodes. It's a great program. Check it out. Great information coming from Jim, but we'll be talking more with Jim about all the big news coming out of the world of law, including something having to go on with Wisconsin and our voter rolls. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, stay close. You are listening and or watching Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network.
To last forever, one that will never fade away. I'd like to help you with your problem. Stick around, pretty baby, I said it's coming up.
All right.
All righty. Good. That's a lot,
Perfect.
Isn't it?
No, I mean, there's a lot going on. And when it comes to these stories,
yeah.
there's always so much nuance and so much information. And I love the fact that the Supreme Court was saying, as long as it's political and not race-based, you're fine. And then Alabama's like, yeah, you're being racist right now.
Right, exactly. And it's got to be, it's frankly, not only for the president, but got to be a bit of a slap in the face of the Supreme Court, too, that said we shouldn't be focusing on that. Here you got 3 judges who say, why shouldn't we? And again, it was Alabama, you may recall, I didn't go into this detail, but was sent back down to do an adjudication, try to figure out what Calais means. Okay, the courts did it, and they said, can't do race-based redistricting. And so not what Sam Alito and the others anticipated. But again, who knows what happens in this crazy mixed up world in which we live.
Yeah. That's why we have you here.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
And I'm crazy and mixed up too, right? It's all very, very, again, even frankly, who would have ever thought they bring back Abrego Garcia, to charge him. And a year later here, not only is he free, he's out from the immigration, at least for now, the civil side, but oh, by the way, the very reason you brought him back, you wanted to charge him with this crime, that's gone now too. And you know what? He's back. He's back with his family. He's in Maryland. Oops, Pam Bondi. Your plans just didn't go exactly the way you anticipated, right?
It just goes to show, though, all these things they spend so much time, there's so much focus on in the moment, and then they just forget and they don't care about them. In fact, in my opinion, Mr. Abrego Garcia should be able to get Mr. Abrego Garcia as a way of saying, like, all right, you're going to get X amount of this. You're going to, the charges are dropped, go live with your family. And by the way, here is some citizenship on us. Boom, there you go. Bye-bye, have a good day. Sorry for all the hassle.
Right, exactly. And instead we the judge says, the other important thing, that I think this is the first time any federal judge has affirmatively said, came close obviously with people like Letitia James and James Comey. He says this is vindictive prosecution. Uses those words. This is you're going after this man because he got all this notoriety, challenging his immigration status. You didn't like that, and you charged him criminally to get him. And the judge says, not in America. We don't do it that way, and dismisses the case, right? You could have sanctioned the government. You could have said, okay, I'm going to impose some fines. We're going to do some other things for trial. Judge says, nope, this is gone. And again, to the extent we want to chat about this, he quotes a fellow named Robert Jackson, a former attorney general, the most dangerous power of the prosecutor, picking the people that he thinks should get, that they should get, rather than pick the cases that need to be prosecuted. Person first, and we'll figure out the crime is second. That's a pretty strong words for any judge to be telling you that's what you've done.
Yeah.
Nice. That's got some new tunes.
Welcome back
Love
to
it.
Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here at what seems to be Disco 54 in the later years. We are coming to you live on Civic Media. I am Greg Bach, your co-host in Racine at Radio Park, and all the way up in Marionette, a.k.a. Christmas City, USA, is
Marinette.
Mr. Pete Marinette. Sorry. Okay,
Correct.
Marinette.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We get that a lot. We're used to it.
All right. Well,
serious disrespect.
Wow, just killed my vibe there. All
Listen,
right.
Racine
well,
boy.
You know what? Hey, up north is Pete, and then over there, that way over there, western bound, whatever. Who cares? Domley. But we are here tonight with you on Nite Lite. We're so happy you're joining us. If you want to be part of the conversation, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on that live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook and YouTube and the platform we still call Twitter. Our question of the evening is, summer is here. What is your vacation spot of choice in Wisconsin? Let us know. And right now we're continuing our conversation with host of Amicus, a Law Review, every single Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Civic Media, Mr. Jim Santel. He's also a former U.S. attorney, served under five presidents, so he knows his stuff. And we've been talking about the biggest stories coming out of the world of law. And one of the bigger stories coming out is coming right from here in Wisconsin regarding the voter rolls, as the FBI continues to make their claim that the 2020 election was anything but safe.
Talk about efforts that should be put to bed. Again, this notion that we're still fighting this fight. And so what happens is, under the former Attorney General, her name, you may recall, she was Pamela Bondi, but certainly continued under this Attorney General, the request goes out to about 30 different states around the country asking for your voter rolls, your voter information, your records. And that includes, again, we don't keep track, of course, of how you vote, but we keep track of if you vote and how frequently you vote, those kinds of things, what your addresses are to ensure registration is proper, all those kinds of things. And the states, to a person, attorneys general in the states have been pushing back, saying, no, That's not information that you are entitled to, federal government. And oh, by the way, the request is based upon your assumption that there is voter fraud in our states. No, that's not true either. So they go and they challenge this again around the country, and not only in the Western District of Wisconsin, which is where you are right now, and many of your listeners are as well. This is in Madison. You've got a federal district court judge. His name is James Peterson. And he takes this up and he has an evidentiary hearing on all this. And he says, just like all sorts of other judges around the country, including one in Maine on the same day last week, basically looks at this and says, government, once again, you've done this wrong. You're asking for information that is not subject to disclosure under something called the Civil Rights Act of 1960. He also takes up all these other allegations sort of implicitly and says, I'm not ruling on any of those. I'm not getting to those. But Department of Justice, your request for information under this statute, I'm going to deny it because these are not documents that the statute that you've invoked, that you yourself have presented this court, requires or mandates disclosure under. So you got it just plain wrong. And he dismisses the case. Once again, the incompetence of the Department of Justice. As I say, he joins many other federal judges around the country. I think it's unanimous now. It's many of them out there telling this Attorney General and telling the Department of Justice, no, 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 no. And of course, you talk again about government spending time spinning its wheels on things that mean nothing anymore. This is another one of those. And it is one of those situations where the real reason for this is because we still just can't get rid of that notion that somehow the 2020 election was stolen, as you were just saying, that Joe Biden did not win, that Wisconsin, among other states, is responsible for that. And if only we can get all those voter rolls, we'll be able to prove it here 6-7 years later. It's absurd. And the judge appropriately found a legal and proper way linguistically to get rid of this. And it's gone. Now it's going to be appealed, probably the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. Difficult to imagine the appeals court they meet in Chicago that they're going to overturn this. Who knows if the government would appeal this then to the Supreme Court, but likewise, unlikely that this will ever see the light of day beyond district and appeals courts saying to the government once again, keep your hands off these records. They're not yours. And oh, by the way, if you decide to go down this road again, at least get your legal theory correct. Judge Peterson says you're kind of incompetent and you didn't do this right the first time around.
Oh, what are the odds?
Yeah, right.
Jim, we just have about a minute left. I'll just ask you, what is your favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin? I know you're a Milwaukee guy, but you probably seek some R&R occasionally.
I do, and I get out all the time out to the west, and going again twice this coming summer. I'm a big fan of Sauk County and Spring Green, where American Players Theater is. You can go kayaking on the Wisconsin River, do all kinds of wonderful things. And Spring Green is a huge place for my family and me. We're going up there again a few weeks or so to see some plays at the American Players Theater, which, by the way, is going to be recognized in the Tonys this coming month or so as the regional theater in America for 2026.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh,
Our own American Players Theater.
Say that one more time. Where is this place again so people
It's
can know?
American Players.
It's about 40 miles west of Madison. It's a beautiful area just where the glacier dumped all that, those small mountains out there. It is a venue out there in the woods. You climb up a small hill to get there, and you will watch theater in the round in the woods. And again, this year, they've been spectacular. Written up in this New York Times always. Look for them to be featured in the Tony Awards from Radio City Music Hall. And they'll be recognized as the Regional Theater of the Year in the nation in a couple of weeks here. Big deal for Wisconsin.
Great place, yeah, for sure.
Love it very much. Thank you so much, Jim, for being here. We really appreciate your time and your expertise as always. Thank you so much for being our guest this evening.
Delighted to be with you as always, gentlemen. Honored.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim Santel is the host of Amicus, a law review. You can catch it every single Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Catch Back Issues magazine talk right there. Go to civicmedia.us/shows for old episodes. You can download and listen to those as well. But it is a fantastic program. You should check it out. And we always appreciate Jim being here and sharing his expertise and travel tips as well. Mm-hmm. When we come back after the news, we're going to be talking about the question of the night. What is your favorite Wisconsin vacation spot? So let us know. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on Civic Media. Thank you, Jim.
I'm loving the New York. I haven't heard that in a long time, and I was almost going to do a little dancing here. Just it's just so
Don't let
I'm
us
with you,
stop you.
Dom. Yeah, more of that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Great
appreciate
music.
it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thanks so much,
Good.
Jim. That was
Thanks.
great.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Good. Take care. We'll do it again
Appreciate
soon,
it.
whenever
Great
you
night.
like.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Pete, when you did this for a second, it really caught me off guard. I know
I saw you react.
it was really hard because we were in deep conversation. I didn't really want to.
Oh, that's so
It
stupid.
was funny though. That was good.
You were like,
6'7".
law,
was
it's real
so
6'7"
hard.
right there, man.
I was like, this is just kind of inappropriate. It was inappropriate.
Aren't you too old for 6'7", Dom?
I am. I really am. But when he does it like this, and it's all like he's in deep conversation, it was like the opposite of
Pick my
what we were
spots a
talking
little
about.
bit.
When America invaded the sands of Normandy, we went big and little. It was big, little. I don't know.
Literally.
Please, nobody get offended by it. I was just using a very serious topic to. You know what? Never mind. I'm done. I quit. Goodbye. I'm canceled.
All right, I will be right back, sports.
Yeah, I'm
See
gonna
you
grab
guys.
some water. I'll be right back.
Same. All right. 5 minutes.
Trying to make sense of the world? You've got Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Call our toll-free number now.
Headlines, culture, and real conversation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Here's Pete and Greg.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. You can always get in touch with us. You can always call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on that live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Still ahead, a great conversation with Kirk Krause. He is a Door County native. He is a film producer, an actor. He'll be talking about movies, his play, all sorts of great stuff. That's coming up in just a little bit. And then, of course, we close everything out with the Nightcap, where we take to the live stream and to the text line, hear your thoughts on tonight's question, as well as talk about what we have learned on tonight's program. So don't go anywhere. We're having some great fun here. And coming to you live from Radio Park in Racine, I am Greg Bach, all the way up the coast, northeast Wisconsin style, Marinette, Wisconsin, a.k.a. Christmas City, USA, Mr. Pete Schwaba. And then in Madison at HQ, Mr. Dom Lee. The three of us, like a 3/5 Voltron, are the Yadder Triangle.
Yes.
Wow.
Sure what that is.
You don't know what Voltron is, Pete?
What is that again?
Voltron was a Japanese anime cartoon from the 80s where 5 robot lions come together to make one big super robot that fought the tyranny of universal like crime and people like that. It was pretty cool. I watched it a lot as a kid. Yeah, then they redid it. They redid it a few years ago. But yeah, five pilots in 5 robot lions, and those robot lions come to form one super crime fighting guy named Voltron, or lady, or person, I don't know,
sure,
or robot, I don't know, but yeah, all we need is 2 more people. Well, we have Tucker. We
do.
So we have 4 lions. We just need 1 more. Maybe you can be that 5th.
Could be you. You could be that lucky lion.
All right. If you missed anything from the first hour, feel free to go back to civicmedia.us/shows, find Nite Lite, download episodes, listen to them at your leisure as a podcast, get caught up. There's lots of great stuff happening there, as well as other programs, including Amicus, a law review, which is hosted by Jim Santel, our guest from the previous hour. And then great ways you can get in touch with us. Let's see here. There's the Civic Media app where you can call and text. You can listen to shows live. You can get your news if you'd like to. It's right there. And participate in Text to Win contest, which a new one is coming up very soon. More details to follow on that. And then finally, I guess, Pete, this is the old school style of doing things. Drop us an email.
Sure.
Nitelite, NITELITE at civicmedia.us. Send us an email. Let us know your thoughts on the show, guests, topics. We read them. We appreciate them. We love the fact that you're a part of the conversation as well. So those are great ways to stay in touch with us. But without further ado, let's restate the question of the night and get to your thoughts on it. Please play the music.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Question.
Questions.
The question is, summer is pretty much coming here. Like, we got just a few more weeks before it's officially summer, but what is the best vacation spot in Wisconsin? 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Again, leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. You can also drop your thoughts on our Facebook page on, Facebook. We have a Nite Lite page. That was a really bad setup there. But yeah, you can always leave your comments there and Pete will read them out. But really quick, here's a question I have. Before we ask the question, Pete, of your favorite spot, what is it like living in a touristy area? You live in that area where your population probably skyrockets over the summer. What's it like living there? And do you feel the need to all right, we just got to get out of town right now?
We don't. I wouldn't say Marinette is a vacation destination necessarily, which is interesting because we're directly across the bay from Fish Creek of Green Bay. So it's the same body of water, but I wouldn't say we get a ton of vacationers in Marinette. Where I live in my community, we do have some seasonal homes. The population in our little neighborhood here tends to go up quite a bit in the summer. but I wouldn't say the whole area. Now, Crivets is a big vacation area, and there are people with cottages in the county and stuff like that, but it's not like Eagle River or Minocqua or one of those areas. So, but I remember going to those areas. One of my answers was going to be Three Lakes because that's where my grandma had a cottage, and that was where I spent a lot of my childhood. Very special place to me.
Nice.
As an adult, I would say we like to go to Door County. It's close. It's a couple hours away. If we go around through Green Bay, we don't have a boat where it only takes like 20 minutes to get there. But yeah, it's got great culture and restaurants. And, I love Door County.
That's great. That's a very popular answer. People, my sister and my brother-in-law have been going to Door County. I think now, my goodness gracious, they've been married for over 25 years now. They go there once a year at least, and they usually do a summer. Sometimes they even do a winter trip too, just to take in, because Door County's getting popular in the winter as well. But Dom, what about you? What do you have memories? Did your family come to Wisconsin for the summer for like trips and whatnot?
Not a whole lot. Only when I first moved here for school, University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, there was a few years where I did go camping in the summertime. And I, like Pete said, I went to Crivets, right? I think that's how the town of Crivets. And there was a great, it was great camping, everything like that. I'd say that is my favorite. I do like the Dells as well, but I've gone there quite a few times now to where it's not as good as Crivets, but I definitely would say
definitely a
camping's
bigger
the best.
Yeah, it's more touristy, I would say.
Yeah,
the Wisconsin Dells not as good as Crivets, but we got water parks. So
nice though.
I have never been. The only thing I know about Crivets is that there is a Piggly Wiggly there, or at least there was when I used to work for a refrigerated warehouse. We used to house the Piggly Wiggly foods that would be distributed to various stores all over the state. And store 182, Crivets. I remember that to this day. Yeah, so
it's a weird. There are a couple. It has a couple claims to fame. Most recently, I would say about 8 years ago, the Broadway star Julius LaRosa passed away in Crivets, and I read that. Or I heard that on the radio. I'm like, wait a minute, what? And apparently, he had some connection and went there and lived out his days in Crivets. And then Bret Michaels from Poison, his mom lives there. And he was in Crivets a couple summers ago, and he claimed he was going to come back and do a big summer concert. Never happened. Come on, Brett. Put your money where your mouth is. But yeah, his mom and stepdad live in Crivets. So
look what the cat dragged in, Mr. Bret Michaels.
Well done.
So,
that's why you go there.
Thank you very much.
That's right. But yeah, it's a beautiful area.
Absolutely. I can only say from what I've heard about it. I should check it out one of these days. But we got ourselves some text message thoughts here. Dom, let's kick it off with you. What are the people saying regarding tonight's question? What is your favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin?
Yeah, we've got quite a few. We got Monica from Mount Horeb texting in saying, went up to Bayfield several years ago and have never had a more relaxing vacation in my life. Wow.
I want to go
have
there
heard
so bad.
Nothing but amazing things about
Same.
Bayfield. And it's like from here in Racine, it's about a 5-hour drive. And
dude, it's like 4 hours from here, and I'm 2 hours north of you. Like, it is up there, but it's gorgeous. The Apostle Islands are close by. I've never been there, and it is definitely on my list.
Maybe it's a place where we should do a live show.
Ooh, I like it.
Nite Lite live from the Apostle Islands.
On the lake.
Kayaking.
There you go. We do a show on the lake. We get a pontoon boat. See, I'm just using any reason to get a pontoon boat. Get a pontoon boat.
Or we just get some water sound effects, kill the video, and say we're coming to you live from Lake Superior.
They'll never know. Nobody knows. You can't prove it.
Come on, please.
Okay, we're going to keep going here.
I'm trying to make water sounds right now, and it's not working. Okay. All right, cool. What do we have next on the text line?
We have Brett from Brown Deer saying, my favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin is Devil's Lake. Love camping there, nice bathrooms and showers. That is true. Camping.
Yeah, my wife and I, we've been talking about doing a summer trip, and Devil's Lake is always the top of that list. So that was probably going to hopefully happen sooner than later. What else we got there, Dom?
Yeah, we got Anna texting in from Madison. Said, hi, Pete and Greg. My favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin is anywhere in Door County. The scenery there is beautiful. Very true.
Nice.
Totally agree, Anna. Door County has those great limestone formations. The natural beauty there is incredible. I totally agree with you, Anna.
I just feel like Wisconsin is the place. Like, it's just the place.
Yeah.
It's the place.
Small little lakes inland. I love it.
Yeah, we still got a few more here. We got Bridget texting in, says, my favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin is Egg Harbor. It's beautiful, relaxing, just the best.
Another
Love
Door
that.
County place. Love it.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice.
And then what else? She also texted in and said Wapaka. Chain
There
of
you go.
lakes has the clearest water, great boating, fishing, and food. The Wheelhouse, check it out.
Okay.
It's not a destination to get away to, but if you're ever in Milwaukee and you want a moment, this isn't Door County, this isn't Devil's Lake or Wisconsin Dells. You're not going to do an overnight here, but there's a place called Atwood Park. It is like when you go there, it's like you are on a island in the Caribbean. The water is gorgeous. The everything about that feels like you are nowhere in Wisconsin. If you're ever in Milwaukee, Atwood Park along the lakefront on Lake Drive is a great place to stop for like an hour or two on a nice day. Just take a look. When she said clear water, that's the first thing I thought about was Atwood Park. So if you're ever around that area, that's my recommendation.
Nice to know.
Yeah. All right. We got any more, Tom?
Yeah, we got one more. We got Nick from Marshall saying, my favorite vacation spot is in the Wisconsin Dells area, and I would really like to travel to Door County sometime.
Well, Nick, you will get there. You will absolutely
All in due
get
time.
there.
Save your money, Nick. Save up, as Killer Bees, the comedian, used to say. We've got some Facebook comments here. Scott Tom, one of my favorite Madisonians, says, "Refuse to say. I hope they never find my secret places."
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks. I guess it's every girl for herself. Thanks, Scott. Daniel Wheeler says, Danny Wheels, he's going to be on the show next month. Fox River Mall in Appleton. It has Sbarro pizza, air conditioning, and no deer ticks. That is my kind of inside guy dude right there. Me and Danny Wheels and kindred spirits.
Where are you going? The mall.
Food court.
Best place.
Get a slushie. Janet on Facebook says Eagle River. Spent a lot of time there as a kid.
yeah.
Could not agree more. Beautiful place. That's where we would go when we wanted to see a movie. When we were in Three Lakes. Eagle River is like 10 miles away. It was the Vilas Theater. Really cool, charming little theater. Thank you, Janet. Stacy Sue says, Sister Bay at Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant with the goats on the roof. Yeah, that is a funky place.
My goodness.
It's a place to see. Stacy Sue also says in Michigan, it would be Mackinac Island, fudge, biking, etc. I agree with you, Stacy. We did our honeymoon at the Grand Hotel. Mackinac Island is spectacular, but it's not Wisconsin. That's what I will say. But you know what? We're not going to chastise.
To each their. I love when anybody's reason for going somewhere is fudge. To me,
right.
Wisconsin Dells, Door County, always like, but there's fantastic fudge.
Wow, great point. Now I feel bad. Sorry, Stacy Sue. You can say whatever you want.
To each their own. To each their own.
Vince on Facebook says Wisconsin Dells, the Vegas of the Midwest. Beth says on Facebook, don't be ridiculous. Three Lakes is the only place. I agree with you, Beth. I've seen Beth there. Beth is a friend of my aunt's. I love Beth. Thank you. JB, the guy behind the guy behind the guy, says best vacation spot in Wisconsin apparently is Florida. Finally, the weather is nice and people leave the state to go somewhere even warmer. I find that odd.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, that's
Layman Rob says Lake Superior, the opposite of Florida. Thank you, Layman Rob.
That's Rob. That's Rob from Tigerton, baby. I love when Rob gets a hold of us. Rob, don't forget, drink your water, please. That's not a suggestion. It's an order. Drink your water, and that goes for everybody. Drink your water.
I like the
All right.
switcheroo, the middle of the names there. That's very.
I know he does. Yeah, his name is Rob. His first last name is Layman, but he's from Tigerton. He is amazing. All right, we got to get out of here. We'll talk more about your thoughts on tonight's question. What is your favorite vacation spot here in Wisconsin? On Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. Coming up next, Kurt Krause talking about theater and movies here in Wisconsin.
All right.
All right.
And we have Kurt. Hello.
Wonderful.
How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Hey, doing good.
Doing really good. Doing really good.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good. Are you in Sturgeon Bay?
I am. How's it going?
Nice.
I heard some.
Do we have an echo?
Yeah, I heard there's like a speaker. Is your output influenced by the speaker? Are you connected to a laptop?
I had the laptop on. I just disconnected, so we hope
Okay,
they won't get
perfect.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Perfect.
feedback.
And there we go.
Awesome.
Cool.
Kurt's not a sound guy by trade, but he knows more about sound than any layman I've ever met.
Even Rob Lehman from Tigerton?
Not Rob Layman. I'm not going crazy here.
All right.
Are you done with your stint in Joliet?
I actually have to go back there in a couple of days because I'm doing some stuff with the university again this weekend. So doing a bit of back and forth, but it's nice being back up in Door County while I can.
Yeah, I bet. Tell these guys what you're doing there. I forgot about that. This could be something we could ask them about too.
I was going to say, should we wait for the show to come back or?
Yeah, but tell me because I forgot what you're doing there.
So I'm doing two things. I started my MS, so getting my master's in talent development.
That's it. Okay.
And then I'm also developing a position at the university, which when I graduate next year, I'll be passing on the job to my successor. And that's as the graduate assistant resident hall director.
Beautiful.
There you go.
We do
All
have
right.
10 seconds,
All right.
guys.
Okay,
Coming
cool.
back.
All right.
All right.
Can't seem to get my mind off of you. Back here at home, enough to do.
That's right, baby. We are coming to you live from Wisconsin, all over the state, and this is Vacationville, USA. The summer is here. Our question of the night is, what is your best vacation spot in Wisconsin or your favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin? Share that, or if you want to be like Stacy Sue, you can say a place from somewhere else too. It's all about vacation and peace of mind. Our Nite Lite
Or your
movie
buddy
club.
who said, don't ask me, I won't tell you.
Yeah, that's true. He's keeping it all to himself.
Yeah.
It's just him in a pup tent on a lake. That doesn't sound fun to me anyway, you know?
Okay.
If I could counter my pal Scott Tom. But hey, we have a Nite Lite movie club this Thursday night, folks. In the second hour, as we do every week, we will discuss a movie, and we'd like for you to be part of it. You can chime in with texts or calls. Tell us your favorite part of The Outsiders. That is this week's movie, the classic Francis Ford Coppola movie that was adapted from the S.E. Hinton novel of the same name. We'll be discussing that on Thursday night. Be part of the fun. It was star-making roles for almost all of the cast, including Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe. Who am I forgetting, guys? Not Matt Damon.
Thomas Howell.
Thomas Howell.
Ralph Macchio. Not Matt Damon.
Not Matt Damon. Matt Dillon and Diane
Matt Dillon.
Lane. So
and
it's
Diane
gonna be
Lane.
fun.
And many, many others. So
Many other. Leif Garrett was in that movie. It's kind of cool. People are like, who? He was big in the 70s.
his name is pronounced Leif Garrett. Okay. Wow.
That's right. You know what, Dom? He's like 67 right now. Oh, if you're watching on the stream, folks, you just got a serious
Oh, my
chuckle.
goodness
Okay.
gracious.
We're going to keep things moving here with one of my favorite guests, ladies and gentlemen. He's been on the show before. You've heard him, I'm sure. He is a very busy Wisconsin-based actor making his home in Door County. He is also a film producer, and now he joins us tonight to talk about a few other things he's working on, too. As always, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Kurt Krause. Hey, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me back, Pete. And very nice to meet you, Greg and Dominic.
Nice to meet you as well, Kurt. Welcome to the show.
You've got, again, if you're watching on the stream, you got the nice background. It looks very Door County in your background there, Kurt. You got some nice trees. Do I see water back there?
You do. That's Lake Michigan right behind me.
I've heard of it. Very nice.
Just doing her thing.
It's gorgeous there. You have a nice home, my friend. It's great to have you here. So listen, we have a lot to cover. So let's jump into your new endeavors after the news. But for right now, tell us, kind of catch us up on what you're doing. The last time you were on the show, you talked about this degree you were going for. I've never heard of this before, a master's in talent development down in Illinois. You're an actor, you're a film producer. What is a master's in talent development?
You can do a lot of things with it. And besides helping you be I think, a better producer and kind of finding what the needs are of crew and client, I can do things with nonprofit work if I want to from here. Once I receive the degree, I can do things in developing strategy. So again, when you're, as you well know, working in indie film, so much of pre-production is putting together the money and financing for a project. And so I think putting together strategy goes a long way. So there's a lot of different areas that I'm learning, a lot of different of these courses. I could go work in education from here as well. And so when I had this opportunity come my way, it was actually with the job that came at the university, and they were looking at bringing back a position that hadn't really been around since the pandemic. So 5-6 years removed, they were looking for someone to come in and help as this assistant res hall director. And with that, develop that program and then pass it on to my successor. And they said a part of the perks is, of course, an education that comes with it. So I originally went in for the job, but the just a really nice perk of it was being able to pursue a master's degree, and this one looked the most interesting to me.
That's great.
Wow. I mean, that's something that I've always been interested in because, I come from the world of production as well, whether it's like mostly live shows. And one thing that I've always been, someone told me once, they said, if you want to get into specifically movie production, one thing you should know about is budgeting, accounting to a certain extent, knowing, where to find the money, how to spend the money, and how to spend it well, because studios and investors love it when you come under budget, especially. So that to me has always been something that's been very interesting. Is that part of the learning you're getting from the course?
Very much so. In my experience also as an independent producer was learning that, but I also knew that I had a lot more to learn, especially if we wanted to put together a bigger budget indie film.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, okay, we have about a minute and a half or so before we have to break to the news, and then we'll talk about your new film project and this play that you've connected yourself to, which sounds really cool too. But tell us, you are one of the coordinators of the Door County Film Festival. What a great time! I was there in February. It was so much fun. Tell people if they're not aware of it, why they should check out the Door County Film Festival, and put a recap on this year. It was such a great time.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for being a part of it this past year. I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from this year.
My check bounced, by the way, but I wasn't going to bring that up on the air, but we could discuss it afterwards.
He's been talking about nonstop. Oh my God.
That's the second one this year.
No. Rats.
No, the festival continues to grow. It was started by Chris Opper, who moved here from Nashville originally. And this came at a time where there wasn't a lot of film festivals. Now film festivals are becoming more and more of a thing. So I think it's probably the third or fourth longest running festival now in Wisconsin. And like I said, every year it's been continuing to grow, and we get a lot of great submissions. We have great speakers every year, including this past year. Pete came and joined us, and you were our keynote to kick off the festival. And we've been able to bring in items such as talking about the new tax incentives. And so we had John Jarosh, who's with Destination Door County, kind of talk about the impacts of a cherry pie Christmas and just how that really boosted things in our local economy then, as well as the tourist economy now, of people wanting to come and see the different locales from where it was filmed.
We'll dig into that a little more after the news. Kurt Krause is here, Northeast Wisconsin-based actor. He's got a big project coming up he's going to tell us about after the news. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Alrighty, guys. We are in break, and we come back at 6:35. Kurt, you said you were on your phone, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Is it okay? You could flip that phone horizontal if possible. See if it'll flip for you. You might have like the auto thing off on your phone. I don't know what it's called. Let me take a look. It's a little like
there we go.
There it is. Perfect. Never mind.
Ooh.
Nice. You got it. That's perfect.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was going to talk. Let's talk about the play when we come back, and Amphibious. But yeah, that Door County, that's such a great setting for a film festival.
Excellent.
Will that help with the popping?
There's a bit of popping. It could be just due to no headphones. That's what I'm kind of guessing. But
okay.
Not a huge issue at all. Not a huge issue.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Sweet. All right, guys. We got 3 minutes.
Sounds good. Welcome back. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday night, which is sort of like a Monday, but better because it's Tuesday. Kurt Krause is here, folks. He is our guest here in the second hour. He joins us tonight to talk about a cool thing. He's got a film project called Amphibious, but Kurt, you're also involved in a play called Moonlight and Magnolias. Talk about the connection between the play and your movie, and tell us whatever you can about the play, which is right around the corner. It starts June 3rd. Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, this was really just such a blessing for us. So Third Avenue Playworks, which is based in Sturgeon Bay, has this show, which again will be running June 3rd through the 21st, called Moonlight Magnolias. And they reached out to us because they saw that we were in the fundraising process for Amphibious. And through this community partnership, they're offering 50% of all donations given on their what they call their Pay What You Will preview night, which will be that Wednesday,
Love that.
June 3rd. And then they'll continue to be promoting our film throughout the run of this show. And then we, through the 4th through the 21st, are receiving 100% of all donations that come in. So they do a different partnership with each show. And when they saw this one coming up on the playbill, Moonlight and Magnolias, because it's based on it's a comedy behind the scenes based on the film of Gone with the Wind. They thought, why not a play about making a movie correlated to the actual making of a movie?
Yeah.
So yeah, this one I think folks are really going to enjoy. Moonlight and Magnolias is based on the true story of the chaotic behind the scenes of trying to make Gone with the Wind. And so anyway, in this show, they're 3 weeks into production and everything's going awry. And so the producer locks into his office, he locks up the director and screenwriter, and they says, we have to rewrite this thing in 5 days. And so it's very, very comedic. It's a play of 4 individuals on stage doing this. And yeah, folks are going to be laughing and cheering them on. And anyone who's familiar with Gone with the Wind, I was a big fan of the film growing up. I think you're going to get a lot out of it as you know the days of Clark Gable as Rhett Butler, and of course Scarlett O'Hara, Mammy. So all these great characters, as they're trying to rewrite this show. Anyone who knows the production, I think, is going to love it.
Awesome.
The only thing I really know about the production, like hijinks, is the fact that at the same time they were making The Wizard of Oz, and they said, like, The Wizard of Oz had 5 directors, and one director like, nope, you can't do it anymore. You got to go back to Gone with the Wind, because that's how it was back in the day of the studio system, where it wasn't Christopher Nolan executing this not winded, I'm sorry, that sounds insulting, but like a long, huge version of his take on the Odyssey or whatever. But back in those days, like, all right, Steve, you're coming off that movie. You're going to Gone with the Wind. We'll see you later. Good luck on that one. It was just absolute chaos, it seems like.
Sure thing. Yeah, the studio system of then is so different than the studio system of now. I'd like to think we've evolved for the better.
That's the voice of Kirk Krause, folks. He is our guest. He is a Northeast Wisconsin-based actor and producer, and he is here talking about a really cool operation he has worked out here between a play called Moonlight and Magnolias. And if you go see it, what's the date? If you go see Moonlight and Magnolias, the funds go to your production.
So that'll be Wednesday, June 3rd for the 7:30 show. I'm actually going to be there giving just a real short address to the audience, and then myself and some of our production team will come back then on the 12th, and we'll do kind of a talk back with the audience, and that'll be about midway through the run of the show on Moonlight Magnolia.
I love it, and I love that you've been part of a lot of short films, but this Amphibious is a much bigger, more ambitious project. It's a feature film, and you're trying to raise $300,000. Tell us about the story of Amphibious and how this came to be, and what is your connection to it, why you're the one that wants to bring it to the big screen.
Yeah, so originally I was the writer of Amphibious, and still primarily am, though I've also had now some screenplay work with the future director of the project, and that's Michael Seibel, and he helped with some of the script rewrites. It was originally a short story that I submitted to a writing competition, and it ended up being a finalist, which told me people liked the story. But it was something to inspire particularly young people and those who might be struggling with identity or some suicide ideation, to help them recognize that the things that make you different, that might be scary as a young person, are those things that make you stand out and become a star in whatever area of life you're called to as an adult. So that the main character in Amphibious, his name's Edward, he was born as syndactyly, so he has webbed toes and webbed fingers, and he's hid this secret away from his classmates for his whole life, and he's transferred to different schools and just always under the radar type guy. And when it's discovered, of course, he's targeted by some of the students and bullied, but you have a response of a very caring staff at the school, and it's actually the English teacher / swim coach who says, you know, what you have here is like the envy of a lot of swimmers because it gives you an advantage in the water. And so, long story short, he ends up pursuing swimming, and he very quickly he starts getting faster and faster than everybody else, and he becomes not only the star, but sort of the pseudo celebrity. And over the journey, he was reached with a lot of kindness, and so he can now use his influence to bring kindness, and so he, whether it's through social media or just personal interactions, he helps evolve the whole face of the school and people treating each other differently and really carrying themselves differently. So he helps other people discover that gift inside of them, the way that different individuals in the show help reach up to him.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, it just sounds positive from I mean, maybe not from start to finish, but it takes a wonderful turn to the positive, which I think is something in movies we very much need. Kurt, one of the things that we've talked about with other guests and was mentioned briefly before are the tax credits here in Wisconsin. We finally have ourselves tax credits in this state, which I feel like is many years late, but better late than never. How do you see yourself utilizing those tax credits to help you make this film as far as shooting in Wisconsin and, making it more palatable for other filmmakers here to do their projects?
Yeah, it's crazy because when we were first writing and rewriting the screenplay, we didn't have those tax credits. And so the original budget we put together wasn't even considering those because we didn't see that on the radar at the time. I was actually asked to go then testify in Madison before the assembly. They had a committee to hear about these tax credits, and through Action Wisconsin, they brought together a number of us from around the state to talk about our different communities and different work that we do. And so I went from not seeing it at all to all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, it's here, and now we get to actually say how this would impact us, to now the actual application. So one of the things we were able to do is say, with $300,000, which is how we were originally going to budget this thing, we're like, no, we could actually see even a greater financial profit, maybe even being able to do more with that, including being able to be on location in places like Door County. We're working with Film Green Bay to help put this together, and they exist to really be a working arm in a lot of things, whether it's legalities, or if people want to donate to a production through a fiscal receivership program, we're receiving money through them that's donated specifically to our project through Film Green Bay. So it sounds a little complicated, a little crazy, but all that being said, we're creating this film in a way that I've never created a film before. And ask how do you reach 300,000, and it's like, well, you can do it a way you've never done before. So it's definitely uncharted waters, but it's amazing. Again, like with this community partnership that came to us through that Third Avenue Playworks, it's amazing where kind of almost out of the blue, people hear about what you're doing and want to be a part of it. So it's been special, learning curve, but special.
You have to be creative, and you certainly are, my friend. That's really great. Great catching up with you. Check out Moonlight and Magnolias June 3rd in Sturgeon Bay at the Third Avenue Playworks. The proceeds go to help Kurt fund his movie. So hopefully, Kurt, will have you back on to talk about this big premiere of your movie. And it's very ambitious, and I tip my hat to you, pal. Good luck.
Hey, thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Anytime. That's Kurt Krause, folks, Northeast Wisconsin-based actor, and one of the founders or coordinators of the Door County Film Festival. If you get a chance, check out the Door County Film Festival. They screen everything at the Northern Sky Theater. It's absolutely beautiful, and it is another great film festival we have here in Wisconsin. So, I don't know, man. Web, fingers, and toes. That's intense. That's kind of cool.
I would be swimming like no one's business if that were the case.
How do you
Or
not
I would
go
just
off
be
for
like-
the swim team?
Or I would just be like, look at my fingers. You can't hurt me. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm so stuck in the world of like Marvel movies and superhero movies and mutation movies. I'm like, well, what could he do next? Could the person save the world? No, they're going to swim really fast and inspire others to believe
feel like
in their own abilities.
It would make you popular. I'm sure there's an aspect of bullying that could happen, but it also could make you kind of cool, like a Teen Wolf.
It depends on how you deal with it yourself.
Correct.
If you like, it's like the kind of thing is like if you're a kid who's like, a little hefty, you come in and you're like, yeah, I know I'm hefty, but I'm really fun and funny too, and I'm cute. Like if you have a good attitude towards it, then boom, you got to take care of it. The moment you're like, I have webbed fingers, and they make fun of you, you're toast. You're toast.
Great. That's a great. There's a great community of filmmakers in Northeast Wisconsin. Kirk Krause included, Daniel Wheeler, Dan Davies, J.B. Thompson, Craig Kinnett. They've all been on this show, and I love people that take action and try to get projects made. It's so hard to raise money for projects like this, and to get creative and to see it through is really remarkable. And I tip my hat to anybody who's willing to do that.
I mean, absolutely too. I mean, all these ideas I've ever had, like whether it's like movie ideas or TV ideas or just like show ideas or whatever, I'm always like, that's going to take so much. And I get very, very discouraged. So it's good to see, and especially like good to see people like Kirk, and we're going to be talking to your friend Daniel Wheeler and, the work that you've done. But now that there is a mechanism in Wisconsin that can actually be sort of like an investment on behalf of people, like, tax credits, like rebate systems, that's important too. Because then not only folks like Kurt, people like Nathan Deming, who we talked to a couple weeks ago. Maybe we'll also see bigger projects come to Wisconsin as well.
I hope so.
I personally feel like Georgia was like, yeah, let's be the leader. Let's do this. Let's do it to it. And Wisconsin, come on. We got snow. They don't.
Dude, Atlanta is like, when my son was coming out of college, he had a lot of actor friends. Some of them went to New York, some went to LA, a couple went here, a couple went there. And more than either one of those cities, people went to Atlanta. Like there is that much work there. You can make your living as an actor in Atlanta. That's how proactive they've been.
Pinewood Studios, one of the most famous studios in all the world, has made the James Bond movies. You look up Pinewood Studios in England. Yeah. They opened a second location in Atlanta because they're like, yeah, this is the place to be. So maybe, maybe Wisconsin is next.
They're sustaining it, and that's half the battle because sometimes these incentives come and go. But tip my hat to Georgia or whatever. All right, we're going to come right back and wrap this whole thing up, folks, with the nightcap that is coming your way next, and we'll finish up some texts. A few laughs, a few drinks. We'll see what happens, guys. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network.
All right. Kurt, thank you again.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kurt. We'll talk soon, buddy.
Hey, sounds great. Appreciate it.
All
All
right.
right. Take it easy.
See ya.
Bye. See ya.
Oh, I didn't know he hung around that long. I hope we didn't keep him.
No.
So he can post that now if he wants to or use it, right?
Yeah, once the audio goes up and whatnot, he can use it however he sees fit.
Got it.
As far as video goes, that's a Dom Lee question.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a Dom Lee question.
Dom Lee, the lonely. No, he's not.
Ooh, nice.
I'm really invested in this right here.
God, the Motels had two of my favorite songs from the 80s, Only the Lonely and what's that other one? Suddenly Last Summer. Great mood, couple great tunes.
Only the lonely.
Guys?
Yeah.
I get it.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're with you. Yeah, we music's great, Pete. It's great.
Who doesn't like music?
Who doesn't like music?
It's true. It is. It's true.
Norm's last name is Kopeski or Kopeski? Kopeski?
Kopeski. Like
Kopeski.
K.A. Kopeski, and it's Appleton Cigar. Yeah, he's Norm's a sponsor, man. He's awesome. Appleton Cigar. The only bummer is he used to come into the studio.
I know.
Bring cigars.
Oh, Well,
I don't know how advanced StreamYard is, but I'm guessing we can't get cigars through the app. Dom,
Still got one studio.
That's true.
You got 2 studios. What am I, Choplifter?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And a guest room
we got 2
office.
studios.
Yeah.
And he's
And a
got
futon.
That's Futon Studio right there.
I don't see a futon in either one of your fancy highfalutin studios.
It's not a futon. There's a couch right there, though.
Oh, okay.
I can't
Is it a sleeper?
Alan's not a sleeper, no. And
Pull this down. It's a bed, guys.
Ooh,
Very versatile.
Man. You have it made.
I do have it made. Sometimes.
Spoken like a true 22-year-old.
You got it made. This dude's got a futon, man.
Dude, when you hit the day, Dom, 30 years old and 3 days, I want you to sleep on a futon and tell me how you feel. That's, yeah.
Yeah, they're good for like one night of sleep, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then it's all bets are off.
No.
Well,
no,
that's
thank you.
really hot. Holy smokes.
My friends were all like, oh, I got a futon. I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. Can you sleep on my futon? I just sleep on the floor.
Yeah, to me it sounds so appealing. But
If the floor is cement,
I'm sure.
go for the futon.
Yeah.
Greg's still on the fence.
Yeah. I'm on the floor.
All right,
Just
guys.
I'm very adult about this. It's like, I want a bed. Just give me a bed, please.
Sleep
and thank
number.
you.
Call it a day.
Oh, wow.
10 seconds.
Okay, money bags.
We got a
It's time to wind it down. Let's take a moment to look back and ask, what did we learn today? This is Nightcap with Greg and Pete.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. We can always get in touch, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We're currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. The question of the evening is, what is your favorite vacation spot in Wisconsin? And we're going to get to some of those questions right here, but there is some breaking news happening right now that has come across the desk, which is very, very upsetting in the world of Packers. Running back Josh Jacob has turned himself into the Hobart, Wisconsin jail and is looking at 5 counts of domestic abuse at it says like strangulation and property damage. That is all we know at this moment. We got that from both Mike Clemens, and it's being reported right now in the New York Post as well. There was a disturbance complaint involving Jacobs on Saturday morning, and he has turned himself into the authorities and was booked into the Brown County Jail on 5 charges: battery, domestic abuse, criminal damage to property, domestic abuse, disorderly conduct. It's really, honestly, it's domestic abuse / other things, strangulation and suffocation and intimidation of a victim. As we know more, we will let you know, but that is breaking news coming out of Green Bay and the Packers organization. Again, Packers star Josh Jacobs has been arrested, facing 5 charges of domestic violence. So that is not the way we like to end our shows here, but we wanted to let you all know that. And as we know more, we will let you know. There will be more reports on civicmedia.us for that. So, yeah. We wanted to, coming up on tomorrow's show, we will be speaking to Norm Kopeski, who's the co-owner of Appleton Cigar, and he will be talking about his business. He'll be on the show. He's one of our sponsors. We love talking to him. We love having him here. And then it's time for Martin Alvarado from the Madison Library to give us his picks and his ideas on what's happening around the area, especially with spring and summer. So come on back for the show tomorrow, 5 to 7 for Nite Lite. We are officially in the nightcap, folks, where we get the last minute thoughts, texts, messages, things of that nature on our question of the night. Summer is here. What is the best vacation spot in Wisconsin? If you want to let us know, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Again, leave a comment on the live stream. We're currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. You can also get in touch with us via the Civic Media app, where you can call and text, listen live, get your news. It's all right there. It's absolutely free. Daniel Barry on the live stream says, happy Tuesday. What's up, everybody? Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the program. So happy you stopped by and, let us, hello. We're happy to have you here.
I would love to know if Daniel, if you want to explain where the sports highlights part of that go. Like, is he like an editor? Does he work for a TV station? Does he just say, these are the highlights I appreciate as a fan? I don't know, but I would love to know that, Daniel Barry. If you ever want to share that, that's awesome. And happy Tuesday to you as well, buddy.
Let us know your world, Daniel.
Yeah.
We need to know.
Bring us
All
in.
right. We still have some leftover text messages, some thoughts on tonight's question. What is your best vacation spot in Wisconsin? Take it away, Mr. Domley in Madison.
Yeah, we got a few more left. We got AJ texting in on WMDX says, just got back from my parents' place outside of Eagle River.
Nice.
We just talked about
Another
Eagle
one
River.
for Eagle River, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He said they have a cute little theater. Very nice, very nice.
Nice.
AJ, thank you.
That's what I was talking. That Violet's Theater, it's adorable. Right in downtown Eagle River. It's so cool. You know who else was from Eagle River? Was David Zucker's pal and collaborator, Jim Abrahams, who actually, I think he had a summer home there, but I think he ended up relocating full-time to Eagle River. Beautiful.
Can I give you a fun factoid piece of information regarding a musical choice for Mr. Dom Lee? He played Vacation by the Go-Go's.
Yeah.
The Go-Go's guitar player, Jane Weedland, born in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Is that right?
And their lead singer was briefly the drummer of one of the first hardcore punk bands of all time, the Germs, Belinda Carlisle. So I just, whenever I hear
She's a drummer?
She was a drummer.
Oh, wow.
She was a drummer. Yeah. So there
I
you go.
remember she dated a pro ball player named Mike Marshall, I think was his name. He was a Dodger. And everybody loved Belinda Carlisle. She was so fun, had such great energy. And I didn't know she was a drummer, though. That's so cool.
She did so much cocaine in the 80s, she once said she's surprised she still has a nose.
Well, listen, we've all got our quirks, and I know Dom is trying to kick the smack habit, and we'll get.
It's been quite a few years.
It's been quite a few years.
I feel like I opened that on myself, folks. I apologize for that. I think we have one more text message from Brett in Brown Deer.
Yeah, Brett in Brown Deer texts in on WAUK. Says, Crivets is cool, too. When we were kids, my parents had a cabin in a little tract of land called Sweetheart City.
Adorable.
All cabins, and in the summer, kids playing everywhere and parents getting hammered playing dice. We didn't interrupt their partying. We could do anything we wanted. That sounds really fun.
There you go.
Good, clean American fun right there.
There you go. And then there's one last one just popped in here. Melissa from Willie Street in Madison on WMDX says, Point Beach Forest Preserve. Very, very wonderful. Do we have any Facebook messages left over, Mr. Schwaba?
We do not. Facebook is out, and there have been no X's posted either.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, no X's.
Well, let's see here. Pete, what did you learn tonight?
I learned we just got another last-minute text from Dave in Madison, who I think is Lil Irv. I think they're the same person. I'm not sure, though. He said, I just canceled my vacation to Josh Jacobs' house.
Cool. All right. Thank you for that, Dave. Appreciate that. Okay, cool.
Good move.
Pete.
What did I learn? I learned that Jim Santel knows a lot more about the law than I do. And
okay. All right.
Yeah, I always like talking to Jim. Very informative.
I love talking. I love when Jim just talks. For me, it's like I feel like I'm doing way more listening because he just can go. And I'm like, educate us, please, sir.
Indeed.
Dom, what about you?
I would say I know a lot more vacation spots now. I've just, I barely moved to Wisconsin, and I'm fully here now. Fully here. Fully a Wisconsinite. There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
Dom is a Wisconsinite, everybody. We did
converted.
it, Pete. We did it.
Do you have a Wisconsin license, Dom?
I don't. Not yet.
Okay. All right.
But
Well,
like driver's license or license on your car?
Neither.
Okay, get on that. Actually, you should be given that. That's actually kind of, I think that's a law right there. But all right, folks, we got to get on out of here. Remember, tomorrow's show, Norm Kopeski, who is the co-owner of Appleton Cigar, will be here, as well as Martine Alvarado from the Madison Public Libraries. So join us again, won't you? Same time, 5 to 7 every single night, Monday through Friday. We're so happy you're joining us tonight. And folks, we hope you have a great night. Thank you so much to Dom and Tucker, Engineering and Traffic, for all the work they do. For everyone who called, text, got in touch with us, we love that very much. We got to get on out of here. So Pete, say good night to the people.
Good night, Wisconsin.
We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky.